Second try. Hi, everybody. Um, I finished a painting. It's not a pretty one, but it was from the heart, the grief and the anguish that I'm feeling over the Southern California wildfires. It was actually painted by one of the people inside of me because I do suffer from DID, dissociative intelligence disorder. What DID actually means, it used to be called multiple personality syndrome. All it means is that my personality was fractured when I was a baby. But one of the ones inside of me that holds on to my creativity did this. You can see the wildfires. You can see the burning embers being blown about by the Santa Ana winds. There's trees that are being burned up. The ground, because of the drought, the grass is mostly brown. It's dry kindling because the drought has gone on for so long. And the skies are red and black because of the smoke and the fires. So this is what the people were facing as they evacuated their homes. At least 27 people have died. Thousands upon thousands of acres of land have been burnt. The forests, the homes. Not just for the wealthy who live up in the hills. All the working class people and disabled, like you or I. People that just wanted to live their lives. And happened to live in an area that the Santa Ana winds blow. And there was a very long drought that turned everything into tinder. Now, we don't know what started the fire. It could have been the carelessness of human. It could have been a couple of rocks banging together and setting off a spark in a landslide. It could have been the lines from the electrical lines going between the poles as the winds were blowing across, setting off a spark. I have experienced the Santa Ana winds. I know that they're quite capable of picking up a person who weighs at least 200 pounds and carrying them several yards before dropping them down. At the time that I experienced them, I was going from town to town looking for work, and I was traveling up along the highway into the mountains. And I had a duffel bag on my back, which weighed almost as much as I did. At the time, I was like maybe 110 pounds, sopping wet. But I had this duffel bag on my back, and I had a guitar slung across my back, and I had my purse. And I was weighed down with all of this, but yet the winds would come along and the gusts would be so strong that they would pick me up and carry me for as much as 10 yards and set me down. I made a lot of good time that way. It was very disorienting and very irritating, but I was grateful to the winds for getting me as far as I got before I got a ride to the next town. But when you think of a wind that could pick somebody up and carry them so many yards, and they catch something and it makes a spark. They carry that spark for so far, and it hits something that is dry, tinder. And the next thing you know, you've got a wildfire. Then there's a lot of the trees in the area, like the palm trees, which are not native to California, were imported. And a lot of the other trees have an oily resin in them. Very flammable. There's a lot of reasons why the fire spread as fast as it did. But the biggest one is those winds. 80 to 100 mile an hour gusts of wind. And blowing at steady rate between gusts of as much as 60 miles an hour. That's what the Santa Ana winds are like. And every year, about this time, they come through. But it doesn't always start fires like this. The drought lasted for 8 months. It's well into January, and there still has been no rain. The city water systems were not able to cope. They were pumping water in from the ocean and having super tanker planes and helicopters come in and dump water. But the planes and helicopters cannot come in when the winds are over 50 miles an hour. They've got boats, firefighting boats off the shores that are also spraying water on those fires. The fire trucks have pumps set in the ocean at the seashore, and mile-long with very large diameter hoses to bring the waters into the trucks so that they can pump water from the trucks onto the spires. And they're situated like this with a line of trucks that are linked up by these large diameter hoses to provide water. We have people coming in from Canada and Mexico and even Ukraine to try to help fight the fires. In spite of one foolish politician that doesn't like any of them. Who is politicizing the aid to California. It's not what Jesus taught. It's not Christian to withhold aid to those in need, because they are of opposing political party. But all these people in Congress that are wanting to put strings on the aid going to California call themselves Christians. They sure aren't following the teachings of Jesus. It's really bad when the pagans and the atheists of the world can act more Christ-like than Christians who say they believe in Jesus. that's it for now. That's my update for now. The next one's probably going to be one of my journals. Love y'all.